When you think about carbon footprint, what comes to mind? Do you think about footprints, global warming, greenhouse gases? But were you thinking about cows? Maybe some of you are, but a majority of you won't. Well, before I go further, let's talk about carbon footprint. Now, what is exactly carbon footprint? Carbon footprint represents the total volume of greenhouse gases resulting from everyday economic and human activities. Knowing the carbon footprint of an activity is measured in CO2 emissions, it is important that when it comes to taking measures and launching initiatives to reduce it, we have to reduce it into the lowest possible level. And it all starts with the activity that we do every day. Now, you might be wondering, why cows? Well, this is because cows produce lots of methane, like a lot. They are ruminants, which mean they digest food through a process called enteric fermentation. It is released primarily through belching. And if we take a look at Malaysia's methane emissions by sector, agriculture takes up 4.4 million tonnes of it. Cows also produce nitrous oxide through the same process. And yeah, that isn't looking too good. And if we look at the foods that produce greenhouse gas emissions, beef is the #1 producer. You might think that maybe it's because of the imported beef from other countries that is doing all of this. But eating locally grown beef and beef that is shipped from other places has actually not that much of a difference. Whether you buy it from the farmer next door or from far, it is not the location that makes the carbon footprint of your dinner large, but it is the fact that you're eating beef. Now that we understand the significant impact of beef production on greenhouse gas emissions, let's talk about our country's progress to achieving net zero emissions. Malaysia has committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2050 as agreed upon in the Paris Agreement 2015. But Malaysia isn't the only country doing all of this to achieve net zero by 2050. Other countries, including those responsible for about 76% of global greenhouse gas emissions, are also doing the same. Today, an average 9 kilograms of beef are consumed every day, resulting in 0.8 tons of carbon dioxide equivalents. If Europeans and North Americans were to forgo eating beef, they would cut 1.2 tons and 3.3 tons of carbon dioxide equivalents. The meat industry contributes not only to global warming, but also causes direct environmental pollution. Farmers can implement rotational grazing, which involves moving livestock between pastures to prevent overgrazing and promote healthy grassland ecosystems, such as improved grass growth, enhanced soil carbon storage, and reduced methane emissions. Well, a survey was conducted asking Malaysians what are the most effective ways to reduce carbon footprints among consumers. 500 people participated in this survey and around 120 people said that they should grow or produce their own food, while 65 people responded saying they should have a vegan diet. The data underscores that Malaysians increasingly notice how their food choices affect the country's carbon footprint. Initiatives such as community gardens and educational programs on sustainable agriculture can further empower consumers to make environmentally friendly choices, at the same time leading to substantial environmental benefits and help move towards net zero emissions. Agriculture plays a crucial role in our carbon footprint, but it also holds the key to achieving net zero emissions. By implementing sustainable practices and making conscious food choices, we can significantly reduce the environmental impact of agriculture. Every action counts, whether it is supporting regenerative farming, reducing food waste, or choosing plant-based alternatives. Let's work together to create a more sustainable future where agriculture not only feeds us but also helps us to achieve net zero emissions.